I'm Alex Stone, a guy who just got a $3.88 million divorce settlement. I wasted no time fleeing the city I'd spent 10 years grinding in, heading back to my old family home in the sticks. My dream? Raise chickens, fish, soak up the sun, and totally embrace the chill life. But who knew? A small-town community outreach coordinator obsessed with metrics, a social media influencer chasing poetic vistas, and a childhood friend who only knows how to feed me delicious homemade meals totally torpedoed my retirement plans. Even wilder? When my ex-wife, Chloe, who rolled up in her Porsche just to see me fail, found out this supposed loser, had become an internet sensation, a slow-living guru, my chill life plan veered in a direction I never could have predicted. Alex, the agreement signed. The house is mine. The car is yours. Your company shares have been cashed out. $3.88 million, not a penny less. We're square. Chloe Davis, my wife of 5 years, no, ex-wife now, pushed a stack of papers across the table. Her nails were perfectly manicured, and the watch on her wrist probably cost enough to build a 2-story house back in my hometown. We were in a high-rise coffee shop in downtown Chicago, skyscraper after skyscraper filling the view outside the window. It was the city I'd fought tooth and nail in for a decade, yet it never felt like home. Works for me. I grabbed a pen and scribbled my name with a flourish. No anger, no bitterness, just a profound relief of finally being free. Chloe watched me. A flicker of superiority and pity she probably didn't even realize she had in her eyes. That's a good chunk of change. What are you gonna do now? Head back home? I heard that town of yours doesn't even get Amazon deliveries. I smiled, leaning back in my chair. It's perfect. I'm going back to kick back, retire for good. Retire? She looked like I just told the funniest joke of the century. You're only 30, Alex. You're just giving up. What's the point of living if you don't have goals? I looked at her, this woman who is always chasing the next big target, always caught in the rat race. We'd once thought we were on the same path, but somewhere along the way, I just wanted to find some shade and lie down, while she wanted to conquer higher mountains. Maybe my goal is to have no goals. I stood up. Good luck with everything, Chloe. She watched me walk away, probably convinced I was a total failure. But I knew my new life was just beginning. I drove that still decent SUV, loaded with all my worldly possessions, a few suitcases, a guitar, and my fishing rods, and didn't look back as I left the urban jungle. Goodbye. Endless meetings and PowerPoint presentations. Goodbye. 3 a.m. office lights. Goodbye. Phony networking events and never-ending favors. Hello. Rolling hills and quiet streams. My rural retreat. My chill life. My ideal vision was perfect, but reality was a bit harsher. I navigated the bumpy dirt roads, making turn after turn, until I finally spotted the crooked, old oak tree standing guard at the entrance to town. A wave of homecoming jitters washed over me. But when I pushed open the creaky wooden gate of my old house, the jitters turned into full-blown shock. The yard was overgrown with weeds taller than me. A fat hen was holding court with a flock of chicks on my ancestral grindstone. Spiderwebs hung in thick layers from the eaves, looking like a mini haunted house. Pushing open the front door, a thick, musty, dusty smell hit me, making me sneeze 3 times in a row. The confidence that $3.88 million had given me instantly got cut in half by the dilapidated scene. Where was the leisurely country life? Where was the poetic escape? This was practically a survivalist camp. I sighed and dutifully rolled on my sleeves. Before I could truly kick back, I needed a place to actually kick back in. The next week, I became the busiest man in town. I hired a crew from Maplewood to tear off the leaky roof and re-shingle it, scrape off the moldy walls and repaint them, and replace all the old wiring and plumbing. I didn't go for any complex designs. My only principle was how to maintain maximum comfort with minimum effort. For example, I didn't clear the weeds in the yard. I just had the crew bring in a truckload of gravel and level the whole thing, leaving only a small patch in the corner for future herbs like chives and garlic. In my humble opinion, this was Zen garden style, primarily focused on low maintenance. Inside the house, I knocked down all the non-load-bearing walls, making the whole space open and bright. All the furniture was modern minimalist, ordered online. An enormous sofa, a bed big enough for 4 of me, and a TV stand that could hold all my productivity tools, my gaming console, projector, and a top-of-the-line sound system. The old-timers in town would often stop by and point at me over the fence. That boy's gone crazy, paving a perfectly good yard with gravel. What's he gonna grow now? City folk, always messing things up. Let's see how long his money lasts. I didn't care. I was busy directing the installation of the smart home system I'd splurged on. Soon, I'd be able to control every appliance with a single shout from my bed. This was the essence of the chill life in my mind. The house was almost finished when an unexpected guest showed up. Alex Stone, a clear, somewhat serious female voice rang out from my gate. I was lying on my newly installed rocking chair, testing which angle was best for an afternoon nap. I lazily opened my eyes. At the gate stood a young woman in a white button-down shirt and black slacks, her ponytail tied high, looking capable and sharp. Her skin was a healthy tan, her eyes bright, and she was scrutinizing my yard. "And you are?" I was a little confused. I didn't recognize her. "I'm Sarah Miller, the mayor's daughter. I'm currently our town's community outreach coordinator." She introduced herself, her tone carrying an undeniable official authority. "Just graduated from a state university with an agriculture degree, and I'm back to oversee our rural revitalization project." "Oh, well, nice to meet you, Coordinator Miller." I nodded, remaining reclined, showing no intention of getting up. Sarah seemed a little surprised by my attitude. She frowned and walked into the yard, her heels clicking on the gravel path. "My dad told me you came back from the city and renovated the old place." Her gaze swept over my yard, finally settling on me. "Your yard. It's a very thoughtful design." I thought thoughtful? I was just too lazy to pull weeds. "What did you do in the city? Were you a designer?" She pressed. "Nope, office drone. Wrote a lot of PowerPoint presentations." I said honestly. "Really?" She clearly didn't believe me. "I've seen your house. The layout, the natural light, all these smart devices. That's not something just anyone comes up with. You must be a professional." I was speechless. These days, knowing how to spend money on renovations makes you a professional? "Coordinator Miller, what can I do for you?" I decided to take the initiative, or I felt my nap time will be taken over by this workaholic. "It's like this, Alex." She cleared her throat, instantly switching into work mode. "Our town is launching an e-commerce project. We want to sell our local produce, like free-range chickens, Glenwood peaches, homemade sweet potato noodles, through live streams and online shops. But we're short on someone who understands marketing, branding, and operations." I saw your. "Hold it." I immediately raised my hands in surrender. "Coordinator Miller, I just quit my job. My only goal in coming back is to chill out. I'm not interested in any work, thank you." "Are you kidding me?" I just clawed my way out of KPI hell. No way am I jumping into another pit. Sarah was stumped for a moment, but she didn't give up. "Alex, this isn't just any job. It's about contributing to your hometown. Look, our town's peaches are huge and sweet, but because the packaging is so dated, we can't ship them out. Every year, tons rot on the ground. Doesn't that bother you?" I looked at her passionate face and honestly shook my head. It might have before. Not anymore. Worrying drains my brain power and interferes with my chill time. Sarah's expression looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. She probably hadn't met such a stubbornly lazy person who was so unapologetic about it. She took a deep breath, seemingly adjusting her strategy. "Okay, how about this? You don't have to work full-time. Just be our consultant. Once a week. No, once a month. You could just attend a meeting and offer some advice. The town council can pay you a stipend. Money's not an issue." I patted my pockets. Sarah was completely at a loss. She walked around my yard twice, then stopped in front of me, saying in a tone of exasperated disappointment, "Alex, you have all this talent, but you choose to rot here. It's a waste of potential." With that, she stomped off in her high heels. I watched her retreating back and sighed. "Kid, you don't understand. For someone who's been wound up tight for 10 years, rotting is the highest compliment." After chasing off the workaholic, I thought my peaceful days were finally here. However, the next day, another uninvited guest appeared at my gate. This time, it was a flashy-looking young woman dragging a huge suitcase. She wore a wide-brimmed straw hat that covered half her face, a bohemian maxi dress, but on her feet were mud-splattered white sneakers. She stood at the gate, peeking in. When she saw the gravel in my yard and the succulents in the corner, her eyes instantly lit up. "Wow, this is it, just like in a video. So zen." She gasped and pushed open the gate. walking in as if she owned the place. I was sitting under the eaves, sipping a cold Coke, utterly bewildered by this sudden intruder. "Hello, can I help you?" E. She took off her straw hat, revealing a small, delicate face, her eyes curving like crescent moons when she smiled. "I'm Maya Chun, a travel blogger. I saw a drone video online that featured your yard. It's my absolute dream yard, so I just followed the location to find you." She held up her phone, which was playing a drone video. The star of the video was none other than my old house, which I'd transformed beyond recognition. Then I remembered. A few days ago, when the construction crew finished, the young foreman flew a drone around, saying he was making a portfolio video. I hadn't expected him to actually post it online. This isn't a tourist attraction," I tried to explain. I know. Maya completely ignored me. She was like a curious cat, poking around my yard. "But it's so beautiful here." This design, seemingly effortless but full of subtle thought, it's the epitome of a hermit in plain sight. The owner of this house must be a sage, tired of worldly clamor, returning to nature. I nearly choked on my Coke. A sage? Me? A lazy bum who just wants to loaf around and eat? "Look, kid, you got it all wrong," I said, putting down my Coke can very seriously. "Im no seja. I'm just unemployed. I pave the yard with gravel purely because I'm too lazy to pull weeds." See, Maya didn't believe me at all. In fact, she got even more excited. Sages are always so humble. Too lazy to pull weeds. What a philosophical answer. It's an attitude of governing by non-action. "Master, I get it." "Me?" I felt my brain short-circuiting. How does this girl's mind work? Maya didn't give me a chance to explain. She pulled a selfie stick out of her suitcase and started live streaming, pointing at my yard. "Folks, look what amazing place I found. A zen gravel garden, minimalist decor, and a hidden master of slow living philosophy. I'm going to give you an immersive experience of what true slow living really means," she said, aiming the camera at me. I instinctively raised my Coke can to block my face. The comments section exploded. "Wow, this yard has so much style. Host, ask the master how he did the gravel." "I want one." "The master is so shy. Won't even show his face." This is a true legend, unlike some influencers who just pretend to be reclusive for show. I looked at Maya's excited face, and for the first time, doubted my decision to move back and chill out. This place, it seems more dangerous than the city. Just as Maya's constant master praise was making my head spin, a familiar voice rescued me. "Alex, you home?" A head peeked in from outside the gate. It was Jesse, my childhood friend, and the only person in this town who made me feel truly at ease. Jessie wore a simple t-shirt and jeans, her hair tied in a neat bun. Her family ran a small diner and convenience store at the edge of town, and her cooking was legendary. "Jessie, save me." I sprang from the rocking chair as if I'd seen a savior. Jessie saw Maya live streaming in the yard, paused for a moment, then walked in and placed an insulated lunchbox on the stone table in front of me. "You've been making a racket these past few days. I figured you haven't been eating right. I made you some chicken noodle soup," she said, twisting open the lid. A rich, savory aroma instantly filled the air. That humble, homey smell that always triggers your appetite. Maya, midstream, twitched her nose, her eyes lighting up. "Wow, that smells amazing. Master, is this your lunch?" "It looks so. Ceremonial." She brought her camera closer. "Ik leerde her, annoyed." "What master?" "Call me Alex. This is Jesse, my childhood friend, bringing me food." Jesse was a bit flustered by the commotion, smiling shyly. "Master what? He's just a lazy bum. Im Jessia." Maya looked at Jesse, then at me, her eyes full of a knowing expression. "Ah, kindred spirit. The master is indeed accompanied by a beautiful companion. This bowl of chicken noodle soup, seemingly ordinary, actually contains the warmth of home-cooked comfort. This is the truest taste of life." The comment section went wild again. "Divine friendship. I want a childhood friend who makes me chicken soup. Jesse is so sweet. Perfect for the master. I can smell that chicken soup through the screen." I ignored her, grabbed a spoon, and took a big slurp. The chicken soup was cooked perfectly, savory and rich, the warmth flowing down my throat to my stomach, instantly soothing all the irritation those two women had caused. "Your cooking is still the best," I praised sincerely. Jessie watched me gobble it down and laughed. Slow down, no one's going to steal it. She paused, asking with a touch of worry, Alex, are you really okay? About the divorce. I'm Fine. I waved a hand. We parted amicably. I just want to rest now. Good. Jessie visibly relaxed. Unlike Sarah, she didn't try to sell me on big ideas, and unlike Maya, she didn't put me on a pedestal. She just cared for me in the most straightforward way. Tell me if you want anything specific. Don't just order takeout every day. It's not healthy. Got it. My heart warmed. This is why I came back. This is the human connection you can never find in the city. Maya watched with keen interest, whispering to her live stream. Folks, did you see that? True masters never talk about grand philosophies. They only care about simple meals. The ultimate truth is simple. It's about returning to basics. I honestly wanted to dump that bowl of chicken soup on her head. My peaceful days lasted less than 2. Sarah showed up again. This time, she carried a bamboo basket filled with several huge, ripe peaches. But the expression on her face was the complete opposite of the sweet fruit. It was clouded with worry. Alex, we have a problem, she said, placing the basket on my stone table, getting straight to the point. I was studying how to build a grape arbor in the yard. I didn't even look up. Did a fox get into the chickens? Or did someone's cow trample a garden? Coordinator Miller, those aren't my jurisdiction. It's much worse than that. Sarah's face was serious. Our town's peaches are unsold. Oh, I responded, picking up a peach, wiping it on my shirt, and taking a bite. Juice burst out, sweet and refreshing. They truly were good peaches. Just oh. Sarah was close to losing it with my attitude. Do you understand? We had great rain this year, a huge peach harvest, but the buyers from out of town suddenly slashed prices. The offers don't even cover our costs. Now, tens of thousands of pounds of peaches are stacked in the warehouse. If we don't sell them soon, they'll all rot. That's a year's hard work for our farmers. I munched on the peach, mumbling so. Didn't you say you were going to start an e-commerce project? I did. Sarah looked defeated. I posted on Facebook, in all the local groups, even reached out to a few community newsletters for help. Lots of people asked, but few actually bought. They all said our packaging was too old-fashioned to give as gifts, and for personal consumption, they didn't think it was worth the shipping cost. She said, pulling out a cardboard box with 4 large, red, kitschy artistic characters that read sweeter than first love, adorned with an outdated cartoon character head. I nearly choked on my peach. This aesthetic, to be blunt, was 20 years behind the times. Who designed this? I managed to ask. The guy at the local print shop in Maplewood. He did it for free. Sarah's voice trailed off. I sighed. I hadn't wanted to get involved, but seeing her face on the verge of tears and a genuinely delicious peach in my hand, what little sympathy I had left started to kick in. Besides, this aesthetic was genuinely offending my eyes. Pen and paper, I said. Sarah paused, then quickly pulled a small notebook and a pen from her canvas bag, handing them to me. I finished the peach in 3 bites, wiped my hands, and took the pen. I never studied design, but I'd written PowerPoint presentations for 10 years, so I had some idea of how to make things look expensive. I didn't draw anything complex. I just wrote 2 words on the paper, Glenwood Peaches. Then I drew a minimalist line drawing next to it, a few strokes outlining mountains, with a few wavy lines below representing a stream. Finally, in the corner, I wrote a small line of text. Wind from the glen, sweetness from the stream. That's it. Sarah looked at the surprisingly clean sketch, her face full of doubt. That's it, I said. Go find the cheapest brown craft paper boxes, single color print, and just put this on it. Use a simple, clean font. Remember, don't add anything else. Less is more, got it? I just wanted to get rid of her with the simplest possible solution. All I was thinking about was my still not delivered recliner. Sarah stared at the sketch in her hand, half believing, half doubtful, as if she held some secret martial arts manual. Less is more. Less is more. She mumbled, her eyes getting brighter. I get it. Alex, you're a genius. This philosophy of simplifying complexity, this minimalist design concept, it's so sophisticated. I wave a hand. Just go, don't interrupt my contemplation of life. She bowed deeply to me, clutching the paper like it held the town's future, and rushed off in a flurry. I shook my head, going back to my grape arbor research. I had no idea that this simple sketch, drawn on a whim, would bring such a storm to my peaceful, chill life. I thought the packaging incident was over. But 3 days later, my world was utterly turned upside down. The culprit? Maya Chun. That day, she showed up in my yard again, selfie stick in hand, live streaming with the theme A Day in the Life of the Master. She happened to catch Sarah leading the villagers, packing peaches into my newly designed boxes. The natural craft paper background, paired with simple black lines and the phrase, "Wind from the glen, sweetness from the stream," looked incredibly stylish and refreshingly unique against the backdrop of colorful plastic crates and old burlap sacks. Maya's camera immediately zoomed in on the box. Folks, look, what amazing packaging is this? It's so beautiful. Her voice cracked with excitement. I bet anything this is the master's work. Only someone who truly understands the aesthetics of life could design something so zen. As she yelled, Sarah got excited too. She beamed into the camera, proudly announcing, "That's right. This is the brand new packaging we specifically asked Alex Stone, our town's very own guru, to design for our Glenwood peaches." Mr. Stone says it's called Less is More. The comments section exploded. Holy crap, this packaging. Hermes would weep. This isn't selling peaches, this is selling art. Wind from the glen, sweetness from the stream. That copywriting is brilliant. I want to buy. Host. Link. I need 10 boxes. Maya's live stream viewership instantly skyrocketed. Sarah, striking while the iron was hot, put up a purchase link with Maya's help. Then, the terrifying thing happened. 1,000 boxes, sold out in seconds. 2,000 boxes, sold out in seconds. 5,000 boxes in stock, completely sold out in less than 10 minutes. Orders poured into the back end like snowflakes, crashing the old computer at the town council office. The whole town erupted, and I, the unwitting mastermind behind it all, was wearing noise-canceling headphones, lying in my rocking chair listening to a comedy podcast, completely oblivious, until my gate was pushed open by a throng of ecstatic villagers, led by an overjoyed Sarah, who rushed up and grabbed my hand. "Alex, no, Mr. Stone, we did it. Our peaches, they're a smash hit." I took off my headphones, looking at this group of people who were as excited as if it were Christmas, completely bewildered. "What's a smash hit?" "The peaches." Sarah pointed to Maya's live stream replay on her phone. "Your design, your tagline, they've gone viral. Now the whole internet is looking for you, the Glenwood Hermit, the slow-living guru." Maya also leaned in, holding her phone to my face. The screen showed her live stream analytics. Viewership had already surpassed 500,000. "Master, you're famous. You're totally famous." I looked at the pixelated side profile of me on the phone screen, beneath which were countless comments begging for the master to appear. I felt a wave of dizziness. Oh great, my chill life was officially toast. I was famous in the way I least wanted to be. My old house became a social media hotspot. Every day, people came from far and wide, cameras and phones out, crowding my gate, hoping to catch a glimpse of the slow-living guru. I could only keep my main gate shut, curtains drawn, pretending no one was home. Meanwhile, my yard became a battlefield for the other two women. Sarah now completely saw me as the town's golden goose. She'd bring me a neatly printed feasibility report for the first annual Glenwood Slow Living Cultural Tourism Festival, asking for my approval daily. "Mr. Stone, look, we can leverage this buzz to turn the town into an online sensation. With your old house as the centerpiece, we could develop a whole line of cultural products like Master's Edition rocking chairs, teacups." "Stop." I cut her off. "Coordinator Miller, I'll say it again. I'm not a guru. I just want to be a slacker. I'm not interested in your report, and I'm not participating in your festival." Sarah looked heartbroken. "Mr. Stone, what an incredible opportunity. You could lead the entire town to prosperity." On the other side, Maya adamantly opposed Sarah's commercialization idea. "Coordinator Miller, how can you be so vulgar?" She spread her arms, protecting my yard like it was a nest of chicks. "The master's zen and tranquility are priceless. How can you measure them with money? This is a sanctuary, not a tourist attraction. We should protect this purity, not exploit it." Sarah scoffed. "Ms. Chun, it's easy for you to talk. Aren't the donations you get from live streaming money? The villagers' lives need to improve. That's the real bottom line. Can sentiment put food on the table? You're desecrating art. You're ignoring the poverty of our villagers. The two women argued fiercely in my yard, one representing pragmatic engagement with the world, the other idealistic detachment. And I, the supposed master at the core of their argument, was wearing noise-canceling headphones, pondering a deeply profound philosophical question. Should I eat the pulled pork Jessie sent for lunch, or the spicy fish stew she sent yesterday? These two women were even more high maintenance than my ex-wife, Chloe. Chloe just wanted me to hustle with her. These two wanted me to be a savior and a living saint. I just wanted to be a regular guy. Why was it so hard? I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and walked between them. They immediately stopped arguing, looking at me with expectant eyes, as if waiting for a divine verdict. I cleared my throat, pointed to the main gate, and said, enunciating each word, "Ladies, the door is over there. I'm going to take a nap now. Please." Just as I was overwhelmed by internal strife and external pressures, the one person who shouldn't have shown up did. That afternoon, a flashy red Porsche pulled up to my gate, completely out of place in this quiet town. The door opened, and out stepped a woman in a high-end designer suit, wearing 10-centimeter heels. It was Chloe. She took off her sunglasses, staring in disbelief at everything before her. The tourists crowding the gate, Maya live-streaming, and Sarah chasing after me with her documents. Finally, her gaze landed on me. I was in cargo shorts and flip-flops, sitting on a small stool, helping Jessie's dog, Buddy, trim the fur he'd chewed into a mess. Our eyes met, and the air seemed to freeze. Chloe's expression went from shock to confusion, then to a familiar coldness, tinged with scrutiny and judgment. She'd probably seen the ridiculous news online and specifically driven hundreds of miles from the city just to see what kind of mischief I, the loser in her eyes, was up to. She expected to see me downtrodden and destitute, not surrounded by a crowd of people, looking rather lively. "Alex," she said first, a hint of barely perceptible mockery in her voice. "It seems your chill life is far more exciting than I imagined." Maya and Sarah immediately looked at Chloe with suspicion. Female intuition allowed them to sniff out a trace of hostility. "And who is this?" Sarah stepped forward, blocking me, adopting her community outreach coordinator posture. "I'm his ex-wife," Chloe stated concisely, her gaze still locked on me. "Ex-wife," Maya gasped, immediately pointing her live stream camera at Chloe, whispering to her audience, "Folks, high alert. Looks like an ex is here to crash the party." I rubbed my forehead, a headache brewing. Great. Ex-wife, town beauty queen, and internet influencer. A live-action drama unfolding right in my yard. I should really hang a sign. Admission charged. "So, you're an influencer now? A slow-living guru?" Chloe looked around, her gaze finally settling on Buddy at my feet, a mocking curve to her lips. "I really underestimated you, Alex. I never thought you'd manage to package lack of ambition into a business." Her voice was soft, but every word was like a needle, precisely aimed at me. That was Chloe. She always had a way of saying the most hurtful things in the calmest tone. This time, however, I found myself completely unfazed. It was like watching an unrelated actor reciting bad lines. Before I could speak, someone else erupted. "That's not true." Maya was the first to refute. "The master isn't doing this for business. He's spreading a philosophy of life. You, a woman reeking of money, wouldn't understand." Sarah also frowned. "Madam, Mr. Stone is contributing to our town. Please speak with respect." Chloe gave a light laugh, her gaze sweeping over both of them before returning to me. "See, Alex, is this what you wanted? To be idolized by a bunch of naive women, living in their fabricated halo? How is this any better than writing PowerPoint presentations in the city?" But I simply put down my scissors, stood up, and brushed dog hair from my hands. "Chloe," I looked at her, saying seriously, "you're wrong. I don't want to be worshipped by anyone. I came back simply to live a few quiet days. As for what they think, that's their business. My fame is an accident. The Peaches selling out is a good thing. But none of this has anything to do with me." I paused, then continued, "I don't want to be a guru, and I don't want to be a savior. I just want to be able to sleep peacefully when I want to sleep. It's that simple. My calm seemed to surprise and anger Chloe more than any fierce rebuttal. In her world, every action must have a purpose. Every outcome must be leveraged. She couldn't comprehend that I was genuinely indifferent to the fame and fortune within reach. She seemed to want to say something, but found all her carefully prepared attacking words had nowhere to land. Just then, from outside the gate, Jesse's voice called out, "Alex, stop clipping. Dinner's ready. I made your favorite barbecue ribs today." She didn't come in, just called from the entrance, as if the commotion in the yard had nothing to do with her. "Ismael there. Okay, be right there." Then I turned to Chloe, who was still frozen in place, and did something I even thought was pretty cool. In a normal, inviting tone, as if talking to an old friend, I asked her, "Want to join us for dinner?" In that moment, I saw a flicker of utter defeat in Chloe's beautiful eyes. She knew she had lost, not to Maya or Sarah, but to that plate of barbecue ribs she'd always disdained. She'd lost to that everyday, human warmth she could never understand. Chloe ultimately didn't stay for dinner. Like a defeated peacock, full of pride and resentment, she started her incongruous sports car and sped off in a hurry. The yard finally returned to a moment of peace. Sarah and Maya exchanged glances, seeming to have cooled down from their confrontation. I looked at them, sighing. "Now, can we talk?" I called them both over to the stone table. Jesse brought out some tea and a plate of freshly cut watermelon. First, I looked at Sarah. "The festival, you can do it. The town needs to develop. The villagers need to earn money. That's not wrong. But I changed my tone. Don't involve me. I won't attend any events, and my yard is not open to the public. You can promote the Glenwood concept, but not me as a person." Then I turned to Maya. "Second, stop calling me a guru. I'm just a regular guy who wants to be lazy. If you want to live stream, fine. Go film the town's scenery. Film the villagers' lives. That's what real slow living is about. Much more interesting than following around a lazy guy like me." I picked up a slice of watermelon, took a bite, and continued, "You two, one wants to boost the economy, the other wants to promote culture. They're not actually contradictory. Sarah, you can make Maya your town's chief experience officer. Let her use her camera to discover and showcase the town's beauty. Maya, you can also get involved in Sarah's project, using your aesthetic and ideas to ensure that the town develops without becoming tacky or artificial." "I'll give you an idea," I said, putting down the watermelon rind. "You can create a villager experience program. Tourists come, not to see me, but to follow Old Man Johnson to feed chickens, follow Mrs. Henderson to make cheese, or learn to cook a country dish with Jesse. That's much more meaningful than building a bunch of fake historical attractions." I said all this not because I was noble, but purely because if I could get them both sorted, they wouldn't bother me anymore. It was an active, proactive strategy for my chill life. Sarah and Maya looked at each other, and for the first time, there was no hostility in their eyes, replaced by a new, ignited spark. "I get it." Sarah slammed her hand on the table. "Let tourists become part of rural life, not just observers. Experiential tourism. Alex here." "Hold it." I immediately raised my hand. "I'm nothing. I just had a crazy idea. You two figure out the specifics. I only have one request." "What request?" they both asked in unison. "For now on, no more meetings in my yard." I pointed towards the town council building. "Out the door, turn right, and don't look back." My world finally was quiet. Sarah and Maya, two women with vastly different personalities, actually became a perfectly synchronized team, thanks to my crazy idea. Sarah handled resource acquisition and overall coordination, making the Glenwood Slow Living project a resounding success. Maya became the project's chief cultural officer, using her unique perspective and aesthetic to photograph every corner of the town like poetry. The town became popular, but this time, it was orderly and healthy. Tourists came, no longer to crowd around me, the fake guru, but to truly immerse themselves in rural life. My old house's gate no longer needed to be kept tightly shut. The oversized swing hammock I'd installed finally came in handy. On an ordinary afternoon, the sun was just right, the breeze gentle. I lay on the hammock, swaying leisurely. From outside the gate, I heard Sarah on the phone, laughing and chatting with investors, discussing plans for the next phase of the project. Near the creek, not far away, Maya held her camera, teaching the village kids how to take good photos, their laughter clear and bright. My phone chimed. It was a message from Chloe, just one sentence. I quit. I smiled, didn't reply, and tossed my phone aside. Just then, the yard gate opened, and Jessie walked in with a plate of freshly washed grapes. She placed the grapes on the stone table beside me, said nothing, and just sat on the small stool nearby, quietly keeping me company. Sunlight filtered through the grape arbor, casting dappled shadows. I squinted, looking at everything before me. My life hadn't become a stagnant pond of absolute silence, as I'd initially planned. It was noisy, full of unexpected interludes and intruders. But somehow, my once exhausted heart had found an unprecedented peace in this just right amount of commotion. I think I'd finally learned how to truly kick back, not by escaping the world, but by finding the most comfortable position within my own world, and then coexisting peacefully with it. Late at night, Manhattan, New York City. In a high-rise office building downtown, Chloe Davis, who had just escaped a frantic meeting, leaned wearily back in her ergonomic chair. She opened her phone and habitually clicked on the travel blogger she'd set to special attention, Maya Chen's account. In the latest video, Alex was lying on a hammock in his yard, a gentle young woman sitting beside him. Neither said anything, just quietly watched the sunset. The video's background music was a simple melody played on the old guitar Alex used to play for her. The comments section was peaceful. This is what love looks like at its best. No Porsche, no roses, but there's you, there's me, there's the sunset. Chloe stared at the screen for a very long time. Then, she closed the video, opened her real estate app, and in the search bar, typed 3 words, one by one. Willow Creek, New York.